What's going on, people? In case you haven't seen the video that I made prior to this one, I recommend you watch that one first before you watch this one. Now, that video stuff in particular is about how Veronica threw Jamal under the bus. Watch it and then you understand more about this video, because in this video, Jamal is in a position where he's ranting and he's definitely expressing how he feels about what Veronica had to say about him in another podcast interview. But also at the same time, though, this is just a beginning, because Jamal did say after this, he's also going to be doing his own podcast where he's also going to go into more detail about things that's gone down as well. But for the time being, though, let's see exactly what he had to say on Instagram, and let's get into it.
Like, it's just so quick to forget how much loyalty I gave y'all in the beginning, always telling you how it is, whether I'm on the fucking show or whether I'm right here on Instagram. But now you want to sit here and try to act like I'm making shit up? Come the fuck on, bro.
I will say this, though. I don't believe starting off your live stream and going after the people is the best way to go into the defense mode. You know what I mean? I just feel like Jamal should really start to what he needed to say in terms of what Veronica had to say about him. But for him to come out and now talk about how people have switched sides, I mean, listen, I get it. End of the day, he came on 90 Day Fiance. He came on as a guy that at the time, he felt like the voice of reason, the person that said things that we was thinking when it came to his relationship, when it came to his mother's relationship, Kimberly and Usman. But then obviously things just started to change. And obviously when things started to change, people definitely started to have a new opinion. And because of that, well, this is where we're at. But either way, though, I don't feel like it's necessary for Jamal to have to really direct that or talk about that itself in particular. But anyway, let's get into exactly what he has to say regarding Veronica.
I'm sorry to be cursing. It's just that's the kind of stuff that gets me worked up. Don't come in my character. Like, it's just insane, man. We don't know. Tim was seemingly being civil and mature with you in that episode. Okay, look. Also, y'all need to understand. That was such a long day. Did y'all not see we started drinking on those little boat things? Tim doesn't drink anymore because he can't handle his alcohol. I can. And I didn't hit Tim. Yeah, I might have got loud and snappy, but y'all don't know, like, the shit that he has said when those cameras aren't rolling, dude. It's just weird. And the first time I met him, he was kissing my ass just to go behind a curtain and talk shit. You feel me?
And you know what, though? That does feel like a Tim thing to do. I don't know. I just feel like there's been things that Tim has done before, you know, that kind of says he's the kind of person that will say something, but then, you know, behave a different way. So I'm not surprised. But hey, we continue.
Like, that's cool that they're friends and have a great friendship. At the same time, yes, to respect one of his partner if they want a relationship. Don't get involved. Yeah. And it's like, bro, people are over here acting like I swung on Tim or like I said something so awful. Because believe I could say worse. And I'll leave it at that. It's so funny. Yeah, bro, it's like the thing that was so funny to me is like people thought I was just making shit up. As if like that just came to my mind. Like, everyone knows I grew up majority without a dad, so I don't know what a good dad and bad dad looks like. But from what I've seen and heard, hell nah.
The crazy thing about it is obviously Veronica does speak about, you know, Jamal in terms of, you know, how he may see a good dad compared to a bad dad, you know, because of his own upbringing, you know, and I didn't really think it was necessary for it to even go down that route, to be fair. I mean, here's the thing. If Jamal has said something to Veronica in a private conversation, you know, regarding Tim's parenting or whatnot, and she's probably agreed with him or maybe not set him straight, at the end of the day, he's going to run with whatever narrative he has, because if he's obviously said something, but here's the thing. We haven't seen, well, Jamal hasn't exactly experienced seeing Tim with Chloe. Okay, so he can't make an opinion if for something he hasn't seen. He can only make an opinion based on what he's told. Veronica in the previous video that I haven't seen before, again, check it out, and then you understand what I'm saying now. But the fact that she makes a very silly excuse of why Jamal made the comment about Tim being father of the year, well, her reasons were just, they didn't make sense. They didn't align. But what he's saying here is that at the end of the day, there's been a pattern of things that she's obviously said to him, you know, and because of the things that she has said to him, he's obviously then built his own perception of what Tim is. And therefore, that's what's obviously put him in a position where he ends up saying something that he shouldn't have said. And that's obviously, you know, insulting Tim's parenthood towards Chloe. You know what I mean? So obviously, Jamal was definitely wrong for doing that without a shadow of a doubt. But Veronica was a part of that. She could have easily not said anything to Jamal. Or if anything, whenever she did say something to Jamal, she could at least said it in a way that doesn't make him feel like as if Tim is now a poor parent. But at the end of the day, this has nothing to do with whether Jamal had a father in his life or not. Because I can tell you this now, me, myself in particular, I grew up with a stepfather, right? And he wasn't the best necessarily to me, right? My dad was here and there. But my opinion on a father has nothing to actually do. Obviously, a part of it is going to come down to obviously how I was raised by my stepdad and also my relationship with my father, 100%. But it is not going to, or it has not blinded me ever of recognizing a good parent versus a bad parent. I mean, listen, I worked with kids for literally 10 plus years, right, in schools, and I've been able to identify kids that come from, fatherless homes and the ones that come from homes with fathers. Also identify kids that come from homes where mom and daddy are basically never really there or don't really speak to them and all that kind of stuff. Like, I've seen it all, right? So at the end of the day, for Veronica to come out in the preview to say what she said was uncalled for. And to be honest with you, Jamal doesn't even have to say anything in this point, to be honest with you. But either way, though, I just think that Veronica is still the problem. She's still the one that has voiced things to him. And then he's then got the comfortability from her, if anything, to say what he wanted to say. But either way, though, he still should have never said what he said about Tim, not being a good father or whatever he said at the time, if you know what I mean. But hey, we continue.
Best boots I've ever seen. Oh shit, what's up, Riley? Does Veronica talk about Tim behind his back? I don't know. You tell me. If she's talking shit behind my back, what do you think?
Boom! You see what I'm saying? there is an instigator.
Come on, bro. Like, let's be smarter than that. And look, everyone's saying I'm too young to deal with this stuff. And, I'm a man. I'm going to deal with what I want to deal with.
I hate that when people say you're too young. People who say that you're too young to do certain things. And don't get me wrong, that statement can be subjective because, of course, if you're generally a teenager, a kid, fair enough. But if you're an adult, that is stupid. Anybody that is an adult, anybody that's mature knows this. People's maturity is based on what they experience and how they learn from it. People also experience things at different stages in their life. There were certain things that I could experience at age of 20 that some people don't even experience until they're 40. But the question is this, though. When it comes to the person that's 20 and the person that's 40, is that when they experience it, which one is then going to use that to benefit themselves in terms of maturing themselves? If you ask me personally, it's probably more the 20-year-old than the 40-year-old because they say that usually the older someone gets, the more people get stuck in their ways. You know what I mean? So either way, though, the point is this. Anybody saying that he's young to be this, and that is a dumb statement. It's legit. Age. Once we're adults, I'll say once we're at least 21 and above. Again, even that can be subjective because it depends on what you've been through. But let's just start with 21 and above. Listen, at that point, anyone can experience anything at any age, and anyone can be mature at any age at that point. Do you know what I mean? They may not be completely mature, but come on now. Why am I even explaining this so much? Come on, man.
So during that time, I knew what I wanted and I was going to go for it. And I feel like at the end of the day, I'm not going to go too far into what I can say. It's just take the good with the bad. Did I ask Veronica why she said that stuff? Yeah, I did. And honestly, I watched Veronica's podcast just now and I thought she was going to make things right. And I feel like she did the same thing she did all season, and that's just go around things. Just like my post I put yesterday, it was like, I told my boy I'm going through it and he said go around it. And that's what Veronica didn't really address anything besides some bullshit, if I'm being honest. So, I'm not going to say too much more about it until after the season's over. So I don't really want to go into everything too much. All I'm doing is talking about the podcast that I just seen because I already know what's going to happen. I fell over laughing when she said, I know. Seems like Veronica will be friends with Tim. That wasn't a problem. That's not a problem. But there should always be boundaries. Whether it's friend, more than friend, past significant, whatever. Boundaries are so important. And it's clear that someone of this whole little triangle did not understand that.
That's clearly Veronica. Veronica is definitely the person that has not understood the boundaries. That's why I said that if anything, she's been borderline and instigated this whole time. She needs to understand boundaries. She needs to understand, things that she can and cannot say to both, and also understand that, certain things have to go a certain way. But Veronica never wants to take any accountability because she likes to just be around the bush. She likes to go around everything. No accountability. And let's talk about that. Somebody said, obviously, a second ago, that he's too young to experience, he's too young for this and that. Well, I could say Veronica's too old to be beating around the bush. Veronica's too old to be going around things. She should be at this age in her life where she should just be direct and say things for what they are. But that's my point, right? No matter how old we are, right, in our adulthood, our maturity is different. You see what I'm saying? You can get someone who's 25 and they're more than happy to just tell you how it is, hold themselves accountable and just go at it. But then you get someone that's 39, 38 or something like that, 37, who no matter what, they still want to go around in a circle. You see what I'm saying? that's why I said that comment is just ridiculous to me. It's legit. Our maturity is literally based on what we go through and how we learn from it. And not everybody learns from their shits, because there's a lot of people who are stuck in a cycle of the same thing. There's many people that could still be 40 and be stuck in the same cycle they had when they were 15. Tell me I'm lying. Because if what I'm saying wasn't true, then why the hell do we have a TV show called 90 Day Fiancé with a bunch of plebs for the most part? And all the other reality TV shows that we watch, that you may watch, and you watch them and you're like, wow, how is this person not matured yet? Wow, how has this person not known this yet? You see what I'm saying? Because not everybody matures, and therefore age, once you become an adult, subjectively becomes very irrelevant. But we continue.
Don't let anyone take you out of your character. Y'all gotta understand, bro. That night, I was so drunk. I was so drunk. It was actually insane. We had been drinking since like 4 p.m. and y'all saw it was nighttime. It was like 10, 11 p.m. I was off my ass. We're talking about Tim all fucking day. Of course, I'm starting to get agitated when I'm hearing more and more of what he said about me. Like, when you hear that shit more and more, it's gonna take you out your element. And when I'm lit on tequila too, come on, man. I'm not saying I can't, and everyone's acting like I acted so crazy. I didn't really act crazy. I told him about himself and he got upset.
That's true. All he did is give his own opinion, and then Tim got in his feelings. But I wouldn't say Tim was wrong to get in his feelings. You know, I wouldn't say he was necessarily wrong. You know, because a nerve was touched. But let's talk about that too, right? Because I have to keep going back to this whole age comment. Tim is somebody that's an older man, right? He should be, technically speaking, because of his age, he should be able to control himself despite what anybody says. Jamal says something, what happens? Tim got in his feelings. You think that somebody at his age maybe wouldn't do that. But like I said before, everyone is different. No one is too young or too old to go through anything or whatever once you become an adult. And let's be real, when we are teenagers, we already think we're adults. And that's truly when we are too young. But once we become adults, who the hell are we listening to for the most part? We wait for experiences to happen to us and then we listen. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, we continue.
So, he got his feelings hurt, and what? Dude's been talking shit about me since day one. Get the fuck over it. You're 43 years old. But at the end of the day, you know, I've already addressed, like, I felt bad for, I shouldn't have done it in that arena. So, whatever. But I don't see Tim coming out with anything. He's just trying to stay silent about it. And he's trying to stay silent for a fucking reason. And then Veronica just does this podcast, and I'm like, wow. All right, then. That's how we're going to play it. Cool. Keep that energy. True. I know I've addressed the father thing before. It just keeps coming up. And then I'm just so surprised she just did this podcast and talking about it again. And then lying and saying that me and her have been tense this week. What?
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know how they could be tense given that Jamal's communication isn't exactly the best. It's probably been tense because he hasn't been replying. But yeah, we continue, which of course isn't correct if that's the case.
I'm actually so geeked. Like, oh man, these people, dude. Keep her ass in San Diego. Yeah, clearly. And bro, oh my gosh, and now it's this whole Veronica was pressuring Jamal to move to Charlotte. I know Veronica for a year, if that.
Veronica said that she's known Jamal for 2 years, funny enough, but we continue.
During that time, bro, I saw Veronica less than like 5 times in my life. Like, let's be real. She's creating a storyline for herself. Maybe. What do y'all think? Y'all think she was trying to create a narrative? This is not me talking about, I'm not talking about production. I'm not talking about the network or anything. I'm asking, do y'all think Veronica was trying to create a narrative to make herself look better? Y'all think she's a people pleaser?
I mean, Veronica's definitely a people pleaser, 100%. That's why she goes around things, 100%. She doesn't know how to just be direct to people. So yeah, people pleaser, I'd probably run with that for sure.
Something I told her in the past, you can't make everyone happy. You can't. Like, you gotta, one thing about me is like, if someone's not having my back fully, I'm not gonna have your back fully. And when you're kissing Tim's ass on this podcast, I'm just like, kind of feel disrespected, honestly. Like, you wanted to stay out of it so bad. This is crazy to me. I was gonna keep quiet. As long as everyone else kept quiet, I was gonna keep quiet. But clearly, people are talking, so I'm gonna talk too. If y'all had no drama, you wouldn't be on TV. That's not the point. The point is, what's done is done on TV. You're still talking. Fuck this bitch. Oh, sorry.
I mean, definitely uncalled for. Definitely uncalled for.
My fault. Oh, sorry. You know, and maybe we were at that time in 2 different places in life, but just so funny because Oh man, there's okay. Follow the Coast to Coast pod because I'm giving out a lot of stuff right now. I'm going to dissect every single part of that podcast Veronica did and get my own reaction to it. Because it seems like that's okay now. So no, I didn't think Tim would be this far
And don't worry, I'll be there. I'm looking forward to that one.
up my relationship's ass. I had no idea because I thought someone would have established boundaries. You know what you did. Oh my god, it made me laugh. I didn't do nothing. Do you think the argument with Tim was your fault or his? I think it was a mutual. Honestly, I think tequila really brought a lot of it out.
Now, forget tequila. Let's just stick with the mutual. Yeah, the argument was, they were both wrong, in their own right. Just as simple as that.
So, I'm blaming it on the alcohol today, y'all. Sorry. Yeah, healthy boundaries are necessary. Facts. Don't forget to do something kind today, guys, for someone. I get why you did it. I was gonna say, seem like a drunk convo. Yeah, bro. I think I'm supposed to be limited, but I was not respecting the limit. We didn't know you were influenced by tequila. I was at a bar drinking in the scene. Did you not see the alcohol in my hand? Crazy. What's up, Jay? That's good. Do you have Cameo? No. And people that be like, oh, Jamal's doing this for fame. I don't even have Cameo. I don't want your money. I have my own money. Like, what? Y'all don't see me doing brand deals. I ignore my whole email box. I don't get none of that stuff because I'm not doing anything for anything. Like, I've just been me this whole time. It's just weird to me. People just want to paint a narrative about me because there isn't one. I'm just so random. I shouldn't even be here. I was in law school. Then my mom met a Nigerian and just everything went there. Not that I'm mad about it. I love you guys. I love the supporters and all that. Love the haters. You feel me? And what people aren't understanding is I went to school for political science. I took speech classes. I can black out and have a normal conversation with you. It's ingrained in my brain. I stopped going to law school when the show stuff just got a little too crazy. I couldn't focus, and I'm not wasting my money. I will be getting my law degree.
I mean, listen, it's good to know that he's going to be going back to get his law degree, but, Tim will still insult him and say that he's jobless, but, whatever, and Veronica won't defend him, but hey, we'll pretend as if that didn't happen. Mm-hmm.
I never talked about Tim's sexuality. That's not my, I don't give a shit. It never had nothing towards my feelings about it and nothing to do with what his sexuality is. I don't know it and I don't care. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here.
Well, that's the end of that one. It's not in particular, but like I said before, in case you haven't seen the first one, I recommend you watch it, and then obviously this one will make much more sense. But as far as I'm concerned, obviously there's more to come because, as he said before, there's going to be obviously a podcast of his own, Coast to Coast, I believe. And obviously when that comes down, obviously I'll definitely be there to give you guys my own review, my own reaction in it. But as it stands right now, all I know is that we've got two men and we've got a woman in the middle. And as far as I'm concerned, Veronica is not taking no accountability for anything that's happened. She just wants to go around in circles. And if Veronica could just woman up and take accountability and step in and just say, hey, this is the boundaries, this was going to happen, well, then maybe these two wouldn't be in this little petty situation. You know what I mean? But as long as she's going to be like that, and as long as Jamal sticks around, this is probably what's going to happen. But to be honest with you, we saw Tim's involvement in her relationship in the last single life as well, and we saw obviously how Tim wasn't great in that, and then therefore she literally had to tell Tim to back off. And it's crazy because I don't know why she hasn't done it this time around. Do you see what I'm saying? But hey, Veronica is Veronica. But nonetheless, though, you guys let me know exactly what you're thinking down below, and we'll talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.